breathing and getting good breath volume is so important for our wellness program that anything that impacts that is going to be worth looking at from a standpoint of how we can help ourselves become more well. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Minke. This is Minke Wellness, and we've been talking this whole month about the respiratory system. Now we've been talking directly about the respiratory system, but now we're going to actually go into understanding how other organ systems can impact our ability to get a deep breath. And the main one is coming in the form of the colon. Okay, so we're going to talk about this, and I've got a diagram here that you've seen this diagram already, and talking about the respiratory system. And we've got this diaphragm here, which is the muscle that contracts and pulls down. So the question is, what's below the diaphragm? And if that is impacting the diaphragm to be able to structurally to be able to contract down, then that's going to impact our ability to get a deep breath. So what's underneath the diaphragm is these organs here, which would be the liver, stomach, and the colon. In this case, we've got the hepatic flexure, which is the flexure of the colon. This is the ascending colon, dives deep, wraps up, bends and comes forward. It comes out in front, basically right below the stomach, and then bends back deep again, and then comes down the descending colon. So we've got this whole transverse colon that comes across the bottom that really is directly in the way of the diaphragm and the liver and the stomach as well. So what does that mean? What that means is the status of our digestive system can have a direct structural impact on our ability to get a deep breath. And it also has an indirect, and I'll explain that in a minute. So the direct effect, obviously, is if my stomach or my colon or my liver are inflamed, swollen, stiff, hard, dense, in any kind of way compromised, then as the diaphragm tries to push down, it hits that resistance, and I bounce back, and now I can't go any further. Okay, so if I continue to eat junky food, and you can start to see how food, water, air, and love, and all four of these categories are important, and then if we do apply our wellness strategies, stop poisoning ourselves, flood the body with nutrients, and manage the stress in each of these four categories, you start to see how this starts to snowball in the negative. If my colon's all messed up, then I can't breathe. If I don't breathe, then my oxygen comes down, my carbon dioxide goes up, my acidity goes up, my pain levels go up, my inflammation goes up, and it's snowballing forward worse and worse. So how do we get out of that? Well, how do we get out of that? By reversing that whole process and say, okay, I'm going to start working on getting a deep breath, but you can see how if maybe I can't get a deep breath until I work on the digestive system. So by the end of this year, you'll have a really good experiential working knowledge of every the major body systems, and then you'll be able to know, okay, at any given time, because it can change, right? Right now, you could say, man, my colon is definitely my big issue, and I'm going to spend a lot more focus and time on that. Maybe I'll spend a whole year or 6 months working on my colon and go from there. Or it's my liver. I know it's my liver. Now that I'm in tune with the whole system, I know I would work on my liver. So this is my experience of my wellness program and how I've chugged along over the years doing this, and I hope this is going to be in the same kind of work the same way for you. I know it works for many people I've coached. I'm not sure it's going to be delivered in this video format. So this is the part that we're experimenting with. So let's come back to this. We've got our colon or stomach or liver, any of which could impact the ability of the diaphragm to contract down and therefore block our deep breath. So there's just a direct physical issue there. Now, what can I do about that, right? On the immediate, we could use our massage. I'm going to back up so that maybe you can see some of this. But I mean, this is at the bottom of the rib cage. And if I just do a little massage and I go from right to left across the bottom of the rib cage to match where the diaphragm is, and just massage a little bit of that in that direction, which is where that's the direction the colon is going to go. And I can work a little bit on that line following the rib cage to try to get some release of the diaphragm so that any adhesions that come and block that, and I'll talk more after. I have a video on, actually you might just go and look at the massage, the link between molecular basis for massage therapy. I did a video on that. Okay, and so anyway, the massaging in here, just a little rubbing. It's not intense. It can be very painful as you get right into the gallbladder area, right in here. It can be actually, depending on when you've eaten and how much time food stays in your stomach, and the status in general. I mean, if you've got any kind of pressure issues going on with the hiatal opening and any of the rest of that stuff, the esophagus, all kinds of problems can happen in this area, and so massaging it can actually be kind of sensitive, so you got to be aware of that. But as we've done this already with the massage form, I like to enhance the massage with essential oils. So I might, from the Young Living arsenal, might use Digest to enhance this massage, so I can be working on helping release these tension associated with the colon, and that Digest might help enhance that massage. It's of course the massage that is doing the releasing, and any kind of soothing is going on is from the massage. So anyway, we could do that massage. That might help. And then as we get into the digestive system in a couple months, you'll have a lot more tools to work with the digestive system. But for now, keep working with your supplements, the sulfurzyme and vitamin C, Super C. We've got we got our morning water. That's what I was trying to think of. The morning water that's flushing the system and helping to get the inflammation flushed out. So if we've got a lot of excess inflammation, we've got to have enough water to help flush that out, and that's part of that whole morning water routine. Breathing also will help with maintaining healthy levels of inflammation. So if we keep our breathing deep, and obviously, like I'm saying, if anything that's impacting our breathing. So now if we can't get a good deep breath here, we can at least do the best we can with opening up the upper body and going forward from there. Now, there's another thing I want to talk about, and that's the indirect effect. So this is structural effect we're talking about. This just the stiffness or inflammation and stuff that's in our gut is directly structurally impacting our breathing. But there's also another layer of that, and we'll get into this a lot more next week, and that is that if the bowel is toxified, if it's not doing its job of clearing toxins, then some of those toxins end up having to come up through the lungs. And so we end up getting grunge coming up out of the body, trying to come through the mucus in the lungs, thickening the mucus and all the rest of it. If we don't absorb our water properly, if our kidneys aren't doing their job, and I'm not getting the water system balanced in the body, then again, my blood or my lymph is dehydrated, and the mucus ends up being dehydrated coming out of the lungs and impacting that. So you can see how all of these systems work together. All right, so we can't really ignore anything, which is why we're going to do this whole year. All right, so don't be frustrated right at the moment. We're going to get through all of it. It is worth the journey. It's a long journey, but it's worth it. And it's only a year, and it's only 15 minutes a day, and we just keep doing these things a little bit at a time. Okay, so this is the awareness for the day. There's not as much of a lesson here, except to know, okay, how much is it going on now? If I'm aware, and let's go back to this effect of the bowel. If I'm aware of this and I start paying attention to it, when I eat something that my body doesn't like, and I start feeling the impact of my breathing. In other words, if I'm aware of my breathing and I feel how my breathing is going, and then I eat something and then the next day I can't breathe, that might start tipping me off that whatever I ate wasn't worth it. Okay? And this is the foundation of where I can control my diet, because I feel the impact not only immediately, but the next day and a couple days later, and I start asking myself, okay, was it worth eating that salty bacon? Was it worth eating that ice cream with the sugar and the dairy fat? Was it worth eating that stuff with all the artificial junk in it? Because I could feel the direct impact of that, eating that and then having those consequences, okay? And the more you get aware of your breathing and your body systems, then the easier you're going to have to change your diet, and it's not going to be some advice you get, some wellness tip that motivates you to take that change. to make that change, it's going to be your direct experience. Okay, so what I can do with breathing is as if I push down with the diaphragm and I start hitting that, and then what I can do is very gently start to explore with the diaphragm, get good at controlling the diaphragm, explore massaging the organs with the diaphragm. In other words, I can start pushing down with that diaphragm into the liver, into the colon, into the stomach, and using the diaphragm itself as a muscle to massage the digestive system. And we'll revisit this when we get to the digestive system, but that's something that if I breathe down. Now, let me just tell you this right off, that we've talked about diaphragm breathing a little bit, but you can get a much better sense of breathing with your diaphragm if you lie down. And chances are your digestive system might actually also be a little more pliable laying down because gravity is not creating that compression. So if you're having trouble with this tension or stiffness in the abdomen that's affecting your breathing, try doing some breathing lying down, and use your diaphragm and see if you can get in touch with that. So that's our quick lesson for today. Not that quick, some of you are looking at the time, and I am anyway. And but we will continue this connection or interconnectedness between the different organ systems, and we'll definitely be addressing the digestive system in March, so in a couple months. All right? We will have a great day. All of us have a great day. Drink our water. Enjoy our wellness. You are still alive, therefore you have some wellness. I know it's hard because sometimes all we focus on is the bad stuff. All we ever focus on, I'm still hurting, I'm still hurting. There's a lot of good, healthy, well things in our body, or we wouldn't function. We wouldn't be alive. Okay, so enjoy the wellness we have. Look at it. Be grateful for it. Happy wellness. We'll see you tomorrow.